I don't think you could be a hands-off manager, and at the same time, I don't think Reagan's going to be employed much longer.
Yeah, and she kind of comes away with it being like, "Oh, we barely touched the dolphin, and the dock's okay." It's like, yeah, but your docking still sucked.
Yep.
There's a line in the water, and yeah, John, you mentioned hands off. She doesn't move her hands. She's
She
just
does.
talking on her walkie the
I
entire time.
know. Here's the other thing I find very interesting. So Sandy last year with what was her name? The deckhand
Malia,
Malia. So and Katie basically said that I forget who was the girl that was swearing at everybody last year?
Lexi.
Lexi. So like everyone basically said like Lexi's terrible, and Sandy's like, you gotta be a leader. You gotta give your team the tools to succeed. And yet now she's like ready to cut bait with Reagan after like a one or two charters. So I don't
Because
know if it. I think it's probably just because it's like deckhand versus or interior versus like bosun. You know?
Reagan made her look bad.
Yeah.
Because everyone else on that dock, that was that
Saw
dramatic.
them hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it that makes her look worse as a captain. Where Lexi didn't make her look like Lexi didn't make it look like she can't drive the boat.
Right. That makes sense.
So it probably is a Cindy ego thing, and Cindy has a huge ego. And yeah, also, but really, like the guests barely notice. Only what's it? Noah, the kid in the red jacket, noticed that they hit the dolphin.
You got any opinions on Noah, Sean? I was completely gonna skip over the guests here. Like we were gonna talk about him a minute, but I can't figure out what's Noah's role in this whole thing because he's like 20 and I feel like everybody else is 30. Am I missing something?
Is he hooking up with Emily, the primary?
I don't like this was a weird one where I feel like they didn't show any like guests going to their cabin shots, right? Like usually they show like people like stumbling into their cabins or like getting ready or this or that. They showed no interior cabin uh like video during this episode with the guests in there.
That kid, yeah, I what he's doing something right because he's on a mega yacht with the richest girl in Idaho. But
Yeah.
I love how he put on his preference sheet and mentioned that he grew up rich.
Did he?
Like, yeah, like why is that important for the chef to know?
It's not. It's important. I don't know. That's so dumb.
Just say you like
I
nice
did
food.
yeah. There was a point where Jason's like, "Oh, I grew up in Indiana." And then that kid was like, "Oh, so you know Idaho?" It's like, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Like I know
They're
where
both
it
in
is.
America, yeah.
Yeah, it's on a map. Yeah, but I don't know if like people from Indiana are frequenting Idaho.
I'm gonna guess no.
Hmm.
They,
Grew up rich. That's
yeah.
funny. That's like a good fantasy football team name, Sean.
Just so you know, I grew up rich also.
Yeah.
Um, John, should we get to Sandy and Sandy has to speak with Storm on
Oh yeah.
the final morning?
This was a question to do about nothing, huh? So
Kind of, yeah.
like, so she talked to him. Was it when she talked to him and she already talked to him once, right?
Yeah.
But that was just about nothing. I don't know what the next one's going to be about. Like maybe she has to talk to Reagan and fire her and then make Storm, you know. But
Yeah.
you would think at some point you would want to be sure that Storm's okay being bosun before you fire Reagan, right?
Yeah, I thought she would kind of address that more.
That's what I
Now,
thought too.
well, one thing she did ask, like, hey, did you see the dolphins? And he was like, no, I was on the other side.
Yeah.
So like had he said yes, then maybe she doesn't feel comfortable making him a bosun early deckhand. But yeah, I thought she would like, and she goes, hey, I love you to take charge. But I thought she'd bring up like, hey, how would you feel about having a little bit more responsibility on the boat?
Right, exactly. Like
And that didn't come.
because I feel like
So
Sandy is now just gonna like fire Reagan and be like, "All right, Storm, it's you," but Storm didn't really agree to anything yet. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I mean, I guess we'll see. It ends obviously with Sandy calling Reagan to the bridge.
Yeah.
I She said the straw that broke the camel's back was them hitting the dolphin.
Yeah. Yeah, she's out. But
Sandy's never really had a bad bosun before. She always
so
has like
yeah.
really good deckers. Well,
Yeah.
Conrad, she so Jen Bloodix season 3, she hated Conrad, who was like a 23-year-old, but Jiao, the lead deckhand, was like amazing.
Yeah.
So she was kind of good. But I don't I've never seen her fire a bosun before, but I don't yeah, she hit a dolphin and made her look bad, and Cindy's got a big ego, so we'll see, right?
Yeah. All right, man. Let's go into awards. Who'd you have winning the week?
Easy for me, man. Storm. Guy just looks and acts like a stud all episode. Love the move up. He flirts with Natasha, or sorry, Natalia, not
Yep.
Natasha, in the laundry room. Big Gary move there.
Yep.
And he's like, he calls her wifey. It's like he's already skipping a few steps, letting her know what's up. Reagan admits in her own deck meeting that Storm's the superior deck, like person on deck. Great leader. I love his delegating. Not afraid to kind of get on people a little bit, like your Jasons of the world,
Right.
who really need it. And only guy on deck with any sense of urgency. Big Storm fan. I know you are too. Did you have him winning as well?
You know, I didn't because I figured you would, but I actually had Natalia and Kyle.
Hmm.
So I feel like they're like the unsung heroes of like this season so far, or at least this charter. Because listen, it's not an ideal situation. You've got the people coming into Doc, but Natalia and Kyle just keep these guys going. Filling them up with booze, giving them some laughs, and they're building each other up, which I think is huge. We're so used to like we were watching like Ashley in the last season of Below Deck Sailing Yacht like tear down everybody when these guys are just like pumping the tires of each other, and I freaking love it, man.
I did love only really only moment we got from Kyle was he kind of brought up like just how good the rest of the deck crew is. Or no, I'm sorry, how good the rest of the interior is. Like
Yeah.
if we get a big tip, it's because of us.
Yep.
And he's right. Yeah, three just like pros. And yeah, I want way more in Italian Kyle going forward. And maybe I mean Reagan's been the big storyline. So if she's gone, then maybe they'll get a little bit more shine too.
That's actually the biggest worry I have is that after Reagan's gone, I'm not sure if the storyline is just more like Dave and Natasha. I'm just not into it. So there's gonna have to be another storyline that picks up. Either it's Z and Natalia, or whoever comes on as the other deckhand. But I'm gonna need some other storyline because right now it's pretty one dimensional.
Speaking of, my loser of the episode was Natasha.
Yep.
Dude, blah, man. Every scene with her was kind of blah. Um, and like, does she think Sandy and the crew are gonna throw her overboard if if they find out like when her and Dave started hooking up?
Yeah.
Like,
Who cares?
I know we talked about at the beginning of the show, but like, I just really don't get where she's coming from. I don't know. It just, but like, I like Natasha. There's still a lot of hope for her, but like, I don't know. Want a little bit more on my Chiefs too.
Yeah. No, I actually 100% agree it should be Natasha here. I'm gonna pick Reagan just because like it was her fault that like
She's
she hit a
actually
dolphin.
lost it, yes.
Yeah, she stinks. Like she's gonna get fired, and she's probably gonna be the loser of next episode because she's going to get fired. But dude, I mean, both of them really poor episodes. Like, Natasha is like she has the opportunity to be the next Below Deck Chief Stew,
Yeah,
right?
Blood like Chiefs too. Yeah.
And I just haven't seen it yet. And so like every episode that she kind of doesn't light that fire or give us that spark is just one more that she's going to be a one and done Chief Stew. So
And you get 2 stars behind her in Kyle and Natalia.
yeah, really does.
That would be great as Chiefs Stews. Yeah.
Natasha can just shine, man. But yeah, poor episodes by them. So all right, so those are awards. Sean, do we have a question of the week this week? If we don't,
we do.
All right.
All right. Well, that's a step on what you're gonna do, but it's kind of an easy one. John, pretend you're Reagan right now. You're about to meet you're in the bridge with Sandy. What would you say in order to salvage your job? Is there anything?
So here's what I do. I bring Storm with me, and I immediately conclude that he is lead deckhand.
Mm.
Because it's you basically as Reagan, you're admitting like, hey, we need more order here. And I feel like we can get a good job done with Storm and I teaming up and having, a better chain of command. Now, does that save her? I don't know, but that would be my move if I was in this situation. Because if you walk in there by yourself, you're gonna say, oh, I can do this better, I can do this better, and guess what? You're gonna get fired. So you need to like bring Storm in and be like, here's our plan of action, just to have some hope.
That's a great idea. I went one better. I said make Storm the bosun and demote yourself to lead deckhand. Because Jen, look, there's a reason that Kyle and Talia took second to jobs on this boat. I think people like being on the show. I think the tips are probably bigger because you're on TV. The exposure is huge. Eddie did say in an interview, you make more money than like a normal yachty. I'd humble myself and be like, I'm going to stay on TV. And I think, I don't know. Now, would Reagan do that? I don't know. I don't even know what motivates Reagan. Like normal things in life don't motivate her. She has no sense of urgency. She definitely isn't enjoying being the bosun, right?
I think she enjoys not actually doing much. So whether that's good or not, I think if she got demoted, then she would have to do a bunch of shit. She'd probably be upset about that.
Yeah, but it's like if Storm has more experience than you, then there's nothing wrong with that.
But he probably went in as a deck because he wanted to be a deckhand. Maybe he doesn't want to be bosun, man.
Yeah, and then Reagan would have to use her hands.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like she'd have to do shit. So I don't know. She's probably a dead man walking at this point. So
she needs to come up. She needs a plan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she can't watch this in time to know that she needs a plan. She's such an unusual person. I love her too. Like she's amazing, fascinating TV. But I have just no idea. Like normal motivation tactics that Sandy tries to use don't work on her.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. So
there are people like that just they just do their own thing and they're just kind of happy going through life like that.
But here's the thing: like you can be complacent as like a C role player, but like if you're the bosun, you can't be like a complacent person. That's just not gonna work.
Can't believe she's the captain on a big boat.
Yeah, I don't know. I would not want to be on that boat. I'll tell you that. So, all right, man. Anything else in this episode before we sign off here?
I think that's it. I'm excited. I mean, cliffhanger.
Yeah.
We don't watch ahead, everyone. So we're the non-Peacock people. We're watching with you guys.
Yep.
I kind of hope Reagan's there next episode.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great storyline, and I unless there's another good one that pops up, I'm just afraid that we're just gonna run out of like storylines, and it's gonna become too much of Dave and Tosh. So Sean, we're gonna continue to live tweet every episode. You're at overboard_pod. I'm at Below Deck John. We're getting a lot of engagement on the tweets, so we'd love to see more. And please, anyone, leave us a review. If it's constructive, whatever it is. We'd love to see some 5 stars on there though.
Love to too. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Bon voyage.